Today I'm going to talk a little bit about how to figure out what's causing tension when you sing. I'm just going to focus on the four most popular forms of tension, the four places where it tends to creep in most regularly, most frequently, and how you can reduce it a little bit in practice, but also figure out where your tension is creeping in. So the four places that tend to be the biggest problems are the tongue, jaw, neck, and shoulders. So for each of these, I'm going to go through them and show you how you can figure out if it's that's causing the tension at some points when you're singing, and how you can alleviate them a little bit. So we're going to start with the tongue. So I'm going to use Down by the Sally Gardens, just the first line of it, to give you a bit of an example. If your tongue is the issue, then you'll be feeling, particularly the root of the tongue, you'll be feeling it a bit under the chin there. And so there are two ways that you can alleviate that whilst you're practicing, and also see if the sound improves a bit when your tongue is released. So I'm going to sing it first, just straight, and we'll see if my tongue is the root of the tension. So if it sounds a bit tight. Down by the Sally Gardens, my love and I did meet. So during that, my tongue was quite far back, and I felt a little bit of tension just at the root of it and felt it a bit under there. So what I'm going to do is, whilst I sing, I'm going to try and move my tongue from side to side, like this. This might change the vowels and the consonants, but that's okay. We're going to just try and figure out if that's the cause of it. Down by the Sally Gardens, my love and I did meet. So you may have noticed the word love, my tongue suddenly stopped. It's a very good indicator to know that my tongue is tensing up at that particular point. So I now know when I get to the word love, I need to release tension in my tongue. That could be moving it forwards. It could just be focusing on moving it faster during that section. The other way that you can do it, because the tongue loves to shoot back at certain points, is you can just sing it to any vowel with your tongue sticking out like this. And you may have noticed then when I took my breath in, my tongue tried to go back a bit. So you have to be really aware of where your tongue is. It's a very frequent form of tension. As soon as you release the tongue, everything else becomes a bit easier. The jaw is a really fun one because it likes to get involved in articulation. If you watch my consonants webinar, which is in my channel, you can go watch that. It should never be the primary source of articulation. It should always be secondary to the tongue. So with the jaw, we're just going to move it around as we sing. Down by the Sally Gardens, my love and I did meet. So you may have noticed on that one that I wasn't going just round in a circle, I wasn't just going side to side. It's really important when you're doing these movements to try and release tension that nothing becomes a habit. So we don't want down by the side. That will be a form of tension in itself. So you want to be as random as possible, not necessarily really quick, but just make sure it's always moving. Moving on to the neck. This one is a fantastic indicator, and it means that you don't have to worry about singing the tune just to a vowel. You can put all the text in. And this is just drawing small circles with your nose. And this will just keep your neck moving, a nice slow movement through there. And that will just stop any tension from creeping in slowly but surely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the indicator when you know that something is tensing up or your neck is tensing up at a specific point in the piece. See if you can tell where it is. Down by the Sally Gardens, my love and I did meet. So probably noticed it, gardens. That's where my nose suddenly stopped for a minute and then carried on. Sometimes it's such a natural thing that our heads will stop at the point at which we're worried about, or the point at which something is tensing and we're not releasing to our full potential. It's a really good indicator to just sing a few bits to yourself and watch in the mirror or in a camera, because that's when you can suddenly notice, oh, I've stopped there. That's the point at which the tension is creeping in. Really good indicator, and it means that you can see most of the line was absolutely fine. It was just going up to gardens. So then you can start thinking, well, what's the problem with gardens? Is it the vowel? Is it the consonant? So you can start to figure out where in the piece it's becoming a problem. Final one is shoulders. Now, sometimes we think we need to have our shoulders back as far as possible. We don't want to push anything back too far, because that's going to start bringing our back muscles into play, which we want to keep released. Obviously, we don't want rolled shoulders. So my knack with the shoulders is to move the elbows like this. And it's, again, very gentle. I want to imagine that we've got something like a squeezy ball or something just there, and we move those around. And again, if those stop whilst we're singing, then we know what the issue is. So we know that it's the shoulders starting to tense up and squeeze in. That tends to be the thing that we do. So just by imagining you've got that squeezy ball there, and let's try it once more. Down by the sunny gardens, my love and I did meet. So those are the four main things. There will be other places that you can tense up. Those just happen to be the four main ones that I come across when I'm teaching. You can do these at any point during practice, in choir rehearsals. Don't be afraid to do this, because you want to get really used to thinking in terms of what your body is feeling. So rather than thinking, I will probably be tensing up there, or this is a hard note, this is a high note, it's not necessarily those notes that are the problem. So by using these indicators, the small circles with the nose, then you can become a bit more in tune with your body and what's really happening through there, and then you can fix it a bit more easily. Hope that's helpful. If there's anything else you'd like to hear about, then do pop it in the comments. Any questions about what I've talked about, again, pop it in the comments. And below in the description, you can find my email address if you're interested in an individual singing lesson. I'm still working online. You can email me at info@jessicanorton.co.uk. I've got workshops and concerts continuing to come up, so all of those are in the description as well, and hopefully I will hear from you soon.